Hi guys, my name's Vicky and I'm part of the team here at Support Dogs, and today we are sitting down with Ellie and Alicia from Best Solicitors here in Sheffield, asking them some of the questions that you're asking about leaving a gift in your will. So thank you so much for having me. We're just going to have a chat this morning. So if you're watching along and you're wondering, how on earth do I leave a gift in my will, or how do I make changes if I've already got one, grab a cup of tea and listen with us. So here at Support Dogs, we offer you the opportunity to have a free will. But I want to ask you guys, how does that process actually work? And what is helpful for people to know about making their free will? And does it cover all types of wills or just specific ones?
Here at Best, we do the National Free Wills Network, which is basically a charity scheme where you do get a free will. National Free Wills Network covers simple wills, so if you want to leave everything to each other and then to children, that's more of a simple will. If you want to do a more complex will, though, that's something that we can discuss in the appointment.
When making a will, if it's something that's a little bit more complex, which you won't know from coming in the meeting, we can still give you that kind of advice, and we can give you tailored advice based on your circumstances and just explain the fees. We're really transparent with our fees, aren't we, and what is extra. So a donation would cover a simple element of a will, and we will give you upfront quotes on exactly how much it will cost to do anything extra that you want to do.
And from a Support Dogs perspective, the best way to inquire about getting a free will is to come via our website, send us an online inquiry, which will come through to me. You will get an email and a letter from me talking you through those next steps of the process. So everything will be really laid out and simple for you to understand. At Support Dogs, we would never expect you to leave a donation in your will to us as part of the free will writing service. However, we would ask that you consider it so that we can continue our life-saving work across the UK. My next question to you guys is, what is the difference between a residuary gift and a pecuniary gift? Two big words that lots of our people will be wondering, what on earth is the difference? And is there a benefit to either one?
So a pecuniary gift is a specific amount of money that you will leave in the will, and a residuary gift is a percentage of the estate when you've passed away.
There is quite a big difference between the two of them. So a pecuniary gift is a specific sum of money, which some people feel is easier. So if you give £20,000, you know that that 20,000 will stay the same at the date of death. So it's easier in that sense. Whereas a residuary gift is a share, so say 50%. What's difficult with the residuary gift is 50% of what? You don't know what the amount's going to be at that date. So some people don't like the uncertainty. But the benefit of doing a residuary gift is it will stay the same whether the estate increases or decreases. So if you go into care, for example, and your estate decreases significantly, whoever getting that 50% will still get 50% of whatever is left, whereas £20,000 will always stay the same. So if you've only got £30,000 left and £20,000 comes out, the people that were meant to get the most in the end are only going to get the remaining 10,000. So specific is pecuniary, you can set an amount, but residuary allows you to give a bigger sum of whatever's left over in the end.
So obviously so much of choosing to leave a gift in your will is so personal to the person, and the main priority is looking after your loved ones. But are there any benefits to the person's loved ones if they choose to leave a gift in their will?
By leaving a gift in the will, it reflects the person's values at the date of death. Also, if you've obviously had support from a charity, it's a way of giving back and saying thank you.
And I think although it's really meaningful to your family and your loved ones that you leave behind, it has also got really beneficial from a tax perspective. So if you've got an inheritance tax estate and you're worried about inheritance tax, a really valuable and easy way of saving inheritance tax is actually gifting to a charity. So any gifts to a charity are free from inheritance tax, so you can reduce the amount that you may pay on inheritance tax. And if you give more than 10% to any charity or charities in the will, you reduce your tax percentage from 40% to 36%. So even though it's a small saving, you're benefiting your family as well, because instead of paying more in inheritance tax, you're actually giving to a charity as well.
And that is such a meaningful way for somebody to use their finances and their estate, isn't it? And what it all comes down to is, what do you want to be known for? And what do you want your loved ones to be proud of when you do pass on? And what should people be looking for in a solicitor to help them write their free will?
I think it's always really daunting going to write a will, and I think it's really important to make sure that you're choosing the right solicitor to write your will. So not only one with experience and expertise, but somebody that you can really talk to, and sort of someone that you feel comfortable with and will listen to you. And I think it's really important to use somebody that's quite transparent about the process and also the fees. I think doing a free will, it isn't always completely free. Your circumstances may be more complex, so you do need a firm that's going to be really transparent about any extra costs, and also just someone that explains things in plain English.
So my next question then is, can I get a free will if I already have a will? Can you update it?
So we don't usually amend an existing will. We would look at the previous one, but we'd always rewrite a new one. Obviously, when you make a new will, it also revokes the existing will as well.
So you can still use a free will service if you've got an existing will, and you can make a new will which will revoke that one, but any amendments will essentially just be a new will.
And then my final question is, if somebody has kindly chosen to put support dogs in their will, do they need to tell the charity?
There's no obligation to share with the charity the amount that you've chosen to leave in the will, and the amount itself is discretionary, so it's all confidential. We don't let the charity know on your behalf, but if you do want the charity to know about the donation, of course you can do that.
And just to add to that, one of the reasons why we find it really lovely and beneficial if you do tell us that you've left us in your will is, one, is that's a huge decision for you to make, and we want to make sure that you are looked after and that there's a relationship there from support dogs to yourself. That is the first priority. The second thing is that gifts left in wills make up a third of our income as a charity. So if we have an idea if something has been pledged to us, we are able to plan better for the future and ultimately steward your finances well. So that's why it does make a really big difference. Well, thank you so much for having us. And I hope that you at home have found it really helpful to have a bit more of the insight into the will making process. If you would like to send an inquiry, you are very welcome to do that at supportdogs.org.uk/legacy. Or alternatively, you can just give us a call and I'd be really happy to chat on the phone with you for any questions that you may have. For now, thanks so much for being with us, and it's bye from us.